Hello class. We will now continue with topic 3 in our subject assessment. Hello class. We will now continue with our subject in assessment. So we'll come back to our new topic. We are now on topic 3, the historical development of test and measurement. So the development of intelligence tests started in Germany, England, France, and America. Wilhelm Wundt in 1832 to 1920. Psychology began as an experimental science with the founding of Wilhelm Wundt's lab in 1879. He is often identified as the world's first true psychologist and the founder of psychology. So Wundt, with his lab research assistants, together with his apparatus used in his studies, and the determination of test assessment or measurement began with a psychologist. In 1885, Hermann Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist and founder of quantitative study of memory, published memory experiments in arithmetic computations, memory span, and sentence completion. So here is Ebbinghaus. He was inspired by finding a copy of Fitchner's Elements of Psychophysics. He wanted to apply Fitchner's methods to study of higher mental processes. And in 1877, he began developing procedures for studying memory. His work, or his major work, was Fundamentals of Psychology, and it was dedicated to Fitchner. In his dedication, he said, "I owe everything to you." In 1894, Emil Kraepelin and Robert Sommer contributed the development of free association tests. So here they are, Kraepelin and Sommer. Then in 1912, William Stern pioneered the differential psychology. He was the one who formulated the formula for IQ, which is MA over CA, where IQ stands for intelligence quotient. MA means the mental age, your age, our ages right now, and CA, the chronological age. The chronological age is how old we are now in years, but mental age is the age of our mind or mental capacity. Now, the history of eugenics. Francis Galton, an English scientist who was a cousin of Charles Darwin, was among the first to recognize the implications for mankind of Darwin's theory of evolution. And he was the one who coined the term eugenics. Now, eugenics is the science of improving the human species by selectively mating people with specific desirable hereditary traits. It aims to reduce human suffering by breeding out disease, disabilities, and so-called undesirable characteristics from the human population. So this is a sample of eugenics, no? The naming of human evolution, that is trying to cure diseases by doing scientific studies in such a way that a defective cells would not be mated in such a way that it would not produce more defective people. Then Carl Pearson, he was Galton's student, and Carl Spearman. So here's Spearman, and we have Carl Pearson, developed the science of statistics. So if you remember in your statistics, we have the formula of Pearson and Spearman, no, on the later part of your statistical analysis. They were the one who they developed the science of statistics, the coefficient of correlation. So that is why there are 3 different solutions for coefficient of correlation. So of those three, one is by Pearson, product moment method, and by Spearman. Okay. In 1838, Esquirol, a French physician, distinguished the levels of imbecility and idiocy by the individual's use of language. So Esquirol was able to classify the level of idiocy and imbecility of the people who are impaired. So usually those we have brain problems. So in the idiocy, that is classifying whether you're an idiot, an imbecile, or a moron. No, the different classifications. So according that is based only on their language. No, they could not grasp the idea of the things that we are saying. And there are those who could understand what we are talking about. So levels. Then Siguen contributed to the training of feeble-minded. Again, feeble-minded. Those who have discrepancy in their mental capacity. So training of feeble-minded. Then Alfred Binet, a psychophysicist, developed the extensive test of intelligence. He measured human ability, personality, characteristics, attitudes, interest, and other aspects of human behavior. So Alfred Binet tried to study about intelligence, collection of higher order mental abilities loosely related to one another. Then he assumed children's intellectual abilities that it would grow every year. So meaning it is augmented. If you are a normal person, your mental capacity or your intelligence is growing up as you are also getting older. So intelligence is nurtured. So meaning it is necessary that your intelligence will be fed, no? How you are going to feed your intelligence, your mental capacity, learning, reading, and continuing with what you are, with the process that you are intellectually endowed with special capacity. So intelligence is nurtured. So meaning to say, you cannot just say that you are intelligent because you have a high IQ, then you need not read books anymore. You need not listen to opinions anymore. So it doesn't look like that. No, it should be nurtured. So developer of the first test to classify children's abilities using the concept of mental age, it was Binet, and he used to predict academic performance. So Binet did not rank normal students according to scores. No, it's not how high you have got in your examinations that will determine your intelligence. So Binet, again, was the first to develop the extensive test of intelligence. Then in 1908, G. McKean-Cattell, the father of mental testing, was the first to use the term mental test. So take note, Cattell was the father of mental testing. So James Cattell was the first person with title Professor of Psychology. Mental tests and measurements were done in 1890. And it was in the later part that it was accepted. He was the creator or the editor of Psychological Review Science and Popular Science. Okay. And then in 1904, Dr. Edward Thorndike, an American educator known as father of educational measurement. Take note, Cattell has a different citation. So Thorndike is known as the father of educational measurement. He published his book on mental measurement. He developed the first handwriting scale in 1909. So the trial and error learning, according to Thorndike, he describes an organism's attempt to learn or solve a problem by trying alternative possibilities until a correct solution or desirable outcome is achieved. So we have been doing that. solving problems by trial and error. Then usually involves number of attempts and number of errors before correct behavior is learned. Then he was focusing on the motivation to achieve the goal. So do and redo, try and try. Then the exploration, either random or purposeful. Then the reward. The correct response is rewarded, which will lead to the repeat performance of the correct response, strengthening the association between the behavior and its outcome. No? So once learned behavior will usually be performed quickly and with fewer errors. So the trial and error learning by Thorndike. So this is the book, The Measurement of Intelligence, no, by Edward Thorndike. Then in 1912, Kuhlman published his first revision of the Binet scale. And another English, Lewis Thurman of Stanford University, made a thorough revision of the Binet scale being used for normal and subnormal American children. Now, the history of psychometrics intelligence testing. From Alfred Binet's legacy, Binet-Simon, minor revision, then Binet dies. In 1912, Kuhlman, Binet revision again, no? And another revision of the work of Binet. Then extends testing downward to 3 months of age. No? Nag-anam og ka, mas bata ang ilahang gi-studyhan. In 1916, Lewis, Madison Thurman, and Stanford colleagues revised Binet's test for use in the United States. And more psychometrically sound introduction of the term IQ using mental age over chronological age. Okay. Then the development of achievement test. Horace Mann influenced the introduction of written examinations in 1845. So it was in 1845 when written examinations started to be introduced. Then George Fisher, an English schoolmaster, devised and utilized the first objective measures of achievement in 1864 using his own scale book. And then G.M. Rice, the real inventor of the comparative test in America, pioneered the objective educational testing. So Joseph M. or G.M. Rice. He was the first or invented the comparative test in America. Then Cliff Stone in 1908, he was a student of Thorndike, published the first standardized achievement test in America known as Stone Arithmetic Test. Then the other students of Thorndike were Cortes, Hillegas, and Ayres, developed series of standardized tests in arithmetic. So we have here the measurement movement. Cliff Stone conducted a study in 3,000 students to measure achievement in reasoning and fundamentals. And then Stone wanted to standardize the administration and scoring of the test in order to extract relationships between other factors. Then it came that introduction of the concept of efficiency of instruction, no? Efficiency of instruction ratio linking achievement to time spent in instruction. So whether there is a degree of relationship between the length of time that you are giving instruction to the result or efficiency result of the students. Whether it is the longer you are teaching, the more comprehensive is the understanding among the students. So statistically tested, no, the efficiency of instruction ratio. So it turned out, no, because we are talking about it, it turned out that very long discussions, let us say whole day discussion, compared with parcels of discussion, putol-putol nga discussion. It turned out, I want you to research further, it turned out in the previous studies that parcel by parcel discussion is more meaningful to the students than a thorough no, lengthy discussion. Like, say for example, you're attending a seminar, 3-day seminar regarding on a certain topic. So the tendency is you are grasping all, but then this was only one of the results of the studies. It might be that there are later studies that make deviation on what was found out. So shorter length of time in a discussion compared with long range discussion. It turned out that shorter discussions earned more understanding on the part of the learners. So I am hoping that it is still accepted as of now. We know that furthering studies are continuously done. Okay, so Fernald in 1912 was the first to measure character by tests, but it was Volcker in 1921 who invented some actual situations for testing character. So it turned out, from the psychological aspect, then down to the mental, down to arithmetic, to writing, then the study and the actual testing of character. But how do we measure character? Can we measure character? Measuring character is different from measuring academic outcomes, which is why we treat it differently. So your character and personality ethics, try to compare yourselves with a tree. So your character lies here. No? So your character is classified, or it is equated with the roots. So the roots are hidden beneath, and yet it is the one that gives strength to the tree. And your personality is here. So what can be seen? You have beautiful flowers, or you have beautiful and sweet fruits. You have very nice leaves. Those things can be seen and could be described by the people looking at the tree, and that is personality. But your character cannot be seen. So look at this. Your personality is your secondary greatness because your character is your primary greatness. Your beliefs and values cannot be seen, but they could be observed. Your effective living, the golden rule that you are living with. So that is your character. It cannot be seen. If we will compare also our character and personality with an iceberg, the one which is submerged, iceberg, the one which is submerged is the character. Then mas dako ang chunk na naka-submerge beneath the water. And the one that is seen on the surface of the water is the personality. So your personality are the positive mental thinking, your people skills, and your win-win mindset. Now, Scott man-to-man scale was the most famous scale for measuring personality. So there are now several ways of measuring personality. If you will continue into masteral degree, one particular subject is personality and character development. So it is in that particular special subject that you would understand more about your own personality. So this is Scott, man-to-man scale. So Colonel Scott, he was an army, and he made use of his troop. He studied the troops in his army on the man-to-man scale. Then Herman that is pronounced as Rorschach, introduced a multi-dimensional test of personality known as Rorschach test. So it is making use of ink blots, which are appraised by the examiners. So it introduced the 16 personality typology. So the ink blots. Then we are through with topic 3 in our assessment. So we have time for another break. Thanks for watching. Coming next is topic 4, Bloom's taxonomy. Thank you, class.